here at ICANN56 with members of the ICANN Nominating Committee, Stefan von Gelder, Hans-Peter Hollen, and Wolfgang Kleinwachter. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hello.
Stefan, can you provide us with an update on the NomCom process?
Yeah, sure. This is actually the key meeting for us because the middle meeting in the ICANN year is our selection meeting. That means that here we are interviewing finalists, shortlisted candidates that the nominating committee has decided they want to hear more, they want to find out more about them, they want to hear more from them, and they want to understand a bit more about who these candidates are before they make their final selections. Now, those final selections are also going to happen during this meeting. So for the nominating committee, the middle meeting of the year is one where we are shut away in a room for most of the day, either listening to to applicants, to prospective people that we might select, or determining amongst ourselves which are the best people that we have on our slate this year. So a lot of work for the NomCom. The NomCom is kept out of the way of the main meeting for obvious confidentiality reasons, and at the end of the week we are supposed to come out a bit like a papal conclave with a new slate of selectees that we will then be able to announce after a bit more technical administrative processes have gone on towards the end of the year.
Hans-Peter, you're chair-elect, which means you'll be the chair next year. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, when I was interviewed by the board to become chair-elect, they asked me to commit to become chair next year as well. Of course, the board has a final decision to appoint me chair after this period, and part of this is to make sure that there is continuity in the leadership. So I get to be part of the leadership team this year to learn how we've been doing things, and then we also have an associate chair who's picked by the chair, who's been serving as chair previously, so that we get the historic perspective and the experience as well on the leadership team.
What will your focus be as the chair after observing the NomCom leadership over the past year?
Well, in many ways, I would say that to continue what we've been doing for the last couple of years. Before being chair-elect, I was on the NomCom for 2 years as well, and over the last year, we've been refining the processes, and they seem to be working pretty well now, so it's kind of like develop what we have and making the improvement that we learned from what we've been doing this year.
Wolfgang, this is a time of transition for ICANN, but is it business as usual for the NomCom, or are there specific challenges?
I think there are very specific challenges this year and also the years ahead. Because if on September 30th the IANA transition is completed, ICANN will on its own feet and is then treated as an independent global corporation. And I think this globalized view has to be reflected in ICANN's leadership. So that means more than any before, we have to take into consideration such geopolitical, geostrategic observations, so that make clear also for the rest of the world, in particular for the 165 members of the Governmental Advisory Committee, that ICANN is indeed a global corporation and not a corporation dominated by some from the north and some male white men. And this brings me to the second point, because I think the issue of gender balance plays also a role. So far we have 20 board members and only 5 are women. So I think this is a challenge.
And finally, Stefan, what's so special about this meeting, which the NomCom is calling its selection meeting?
Well, let me just go back to a point Wolfgang just made on both the gender diversity and the work the NomCom does with respect to the wider board. There is a lot of talk about diversity within ICANN, be it gender, geo, community, other types of diversity. The ICANN community is striving to be as diverse as it can be. But I want to make it very, very clear that the NomCom can only select from the people that apply. We can only select from the slate of incoming applications. So a lot of the work that we do And you've heard us say this in past conversations that we've had for this type of event. A lot of work that we do is to outreach before our application period in order to make sure that we can reach out to people that would probably not normally apply because they would either not know about the process or would not feel that they would fit into the process. And that's a very important part of the work that we do, so that when we come to this selection meeting, where the cards are on the table, we have a slate of applicants. We can't really do anything about that. We just try and choose from the best, try and choose the best from that slate. When the cards are on the table at this meeting, we have the ability as a NomCom to make choices that will promote diversity. So really it does start with the community and the people that are applying into this process. If we can get more women in, we can get more people from different countries that are underrepresented or different regions that are underrepresented at the moment, then I think we've done our job. And at this meeting, all we have to do is select the best, and it becomes easy.
Well, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen, and I hope you have a good rest of the forum.
Thank you very much.